Who are you? Erik. Who are you? Erik.
Sit down, Erik.
Erik, please, you got nothing to worry about.
My buddy Erik looks really great.
By the time we find Erik,
윤호래 씨가 직접 해보고 싶으시다는 얘기.
Welcome to a new episode of the film itself. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back healthy and alive. So we shall start with a rhyme like Spirit of the Beehive and a little announcement. The second issue is out, and not to mention, a film analysis can't exist without spoilers. The director Victor Eris made this movie in 1973. He had only two other movies, which is El Sur and Quint's Three Son, which is a documentary. In Spirit of the Beehive, a 7-year-old girl is confronted with the reality and the dream world in Spain during the 1940s. Without a doubt, this is a masterpiece. Although Spirit of the Beehive is made 2 years before the downfall of Franco's regime, it's obvious Victor Eris couldn't tell his opinion about the regime. So he made surreal and poetic visuals to hide what he couldn't say. It's not easy to explain what the movie is about. That's why I can't blame IMDb for not getting it quite right. A sensitive 7-year-old girl living in 1940s in the small village in Spain is traumatized after viewing the movie Frankenstein and drifts into her own fantasy world. Why is this synopsis wrong? Well, for starters, she is not traumatized. She is fascinated by Frankenstein's monster. After watching the movie, she can't wrap her head around why the monster killed the girl. It is bothering her not to know. In the evening, her sister Isabel said to her that the spirit of the monster lives in an abandoned house in the fields. So, Anna goes there every day, so she can meet with the Frankenstein's monster to ask him why he did it. At the end of the movie, she has a surreal experience just like the little girl which became the monster's victim in the movie. That moment, when she realized why the monster killed the girl, she lost a part of her childhood. After the encounter with Frankenstein's monster, Anna closed up. She didn't want to talk anymore. Not because she was traumatized, but because she knew nobody would understand what she's gone through. So she closed up for good. Anna's family is so radically disconnected. They don't even appear in the same shots together. In the beginning of the movie, the viewer has the feeling the movie entails 3 different stories, until the father calls for his wife, which calls out for her kids. Victor Eris is a very skilled director. The way he connected the family is outstanding. Anna and Isabel are mostly quiet and obedient. They like to hang out and play tricks on each other because they have no other friends. Like every father, Fernando wants to know what happened to Anna after she ran off into the woods. But she doesn't want to talk about it. There is something the moviegoer has to realize. Most children which undergo some kind of special experience and have a hard time talking about it are encouraged to draw. After a while, they start to draw their experiences. The same goes for Anna. She didn't talk about it, but she drew her adventures in 12 paintings, which are presented in the opening sequence. When watching the movie, the drawings are some kind of foreshadowing of the events that will happen during the movie, but at the end of the movie it becomes suddenly clear. The sequence is not a stylized version of the credits, it is Anna's future. The name of the movie is also metaphorical, Spirit of the Beehive. The spirit refers to the monster in the movie, which represents a problem for Anna. She doesn't understand why he killed the girl, but when she finds out, it triggers her awareness about the world she lives in. The beehive is a nest of diligent bees, which equals the people in the village. Everybody is pretty quiet and is working without asking questions. The pattern on the windows of the house confirm that, as well as the many times the yellow color is fairly visible. The father writes a note inside his notebook that explains the purpose of the bees.
Alguien a quien yo enseñaba últimamente en mi colmena de cristal el movimiento de esa rueda tan visible como la rueda principal de un reloj. Alguien que veía a las claras la agitación innumerable de los panales, el zarandeo perpetuo, enigmático y loco de las nodrizas sobre las cunas de la nidada, los puentes y escaleras animados que forman las cereras, las espirales invasoras de la reina, la actividad diversa e incesante de la multitud, el esfuerzo despiadado e inútil, las idas y venidas con un ardor febril, el sueño ignorado fuera de las cunas que ya acecha el trabajo de mañana, el reposo mismo de la muerte, alejado de una residencia que no admite enfermos ni tumbas. Alguien que miraba esas cosas, una vez pasado el asombro, no tardó en apartar la vista, en la que se leía no sé qué triste espanto.
Wales Frankenstein has a pretty big part inside the movie. But why?
How do you do? Mr. Carl Lemley feels it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
This intro explains the code how to look at the movie Spirit of the Beehive. It is different, has a shocking elements, and it is a metaphor for something else. In this case, Franco's regime. But that is not the only connection. Spirit of the Beehive is mirroring scenes from the Frankenstein movie. Anna feels connected to the monster, because Frankenstein's monster is like an innocent child. He has no clue that he is doing anything wrong, just like Anna. She runs away from school, runs away at night, takes care of the soldier, and so on and so on. In him she sees parts of herself, with one slightly difference. He killed the girl, and that is something Anna can't comprehend. Also, the whole movie has so many horror elements, but they are not explicitly shown, they're only implied. Frankenstein is a horror movie. The sister playing dead. Attacked from behind is straight out of a slasher movie. Creepy noises. Candlelight. Isabel nearly killing the cat. The spirit refers to the ghost. Blood on the stone. Anna's hallucinations with the monster. Most viewers would feel uneasy during the movie, with no clue what it's about. It is creepy and slow, but it's too abstract to follow. It is like that for a reason. Every scene has a beginning, but it does not have an ending. Everything is foreshadowing of sorts, but it is never resolved. The viewer can't connect the dots because there are none to be connected. The same technique was used in the movie Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It is foreshadowing so many things, but it never gets to connect the established clues. And that is what makes this movie brilliant. This movie is a masterpiece, not because the visuals are stunning or the actors are convincing as hell, but the movie functions on two levels. It's a fairy tale about the childhood of Anna in a small village, and it's a commentary on Franco's regime. And this is it. Can you believe it? It's the end of the episode. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. The cookie is still crumbling. But did she close up for good? Good. Good. It's obvious Victor Erish. I'm sorry. Great. Years before the downfall of Francos. A sensitive 7-year-old. Okay. Okay.
What did you do?
I talked with Trish about the John Waters and the interview we will have.